Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are back with another weapon breakdown, and as you can tell by the title of this one, today we are covering one of the newer weapons to the game in the AM40. Before we get into it, if you guys do end up enjoying the video, then be sure to leave a like down below, and if you are new to the channel, then definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. But with that being said, let's get stuck right into my weapon breakdown for the AM40. So the AM40 is obviously classed as an assault rifle, and this one came with the Season 2 Battle Pass, so you can unlock it by progressing through the Battle Pass, or if you guys are watching this after Season 2, then there will be assignments in the collection screen in order to unlock it. It has a magazine size of 20 plus 1 in the chamber, and it fires at a rate of 799 rounds per minute, which is actually the second fastest rate of fire in the assault rifle class. Now for its reload times, it takes 1.73 seconds for a tactical reload, which is when you manually reload it, or it has an empty reload time of 2.2 seconds, which is when it is automatically reloaded after running out of bullets. As for the velocity, it sends its ammunition down range at 680 meters per second, which is surprisingly the fastest out of all of the assault rifles, even faster than both the AC42 and the SCAR, which are obviously a lot better at long range. Now getting into the more detailed stats for the AM40, keep in mind that these values are all based off of body shots, and when it comes to assault rifles, headshots have a 2.15 times multiplier, so any value that you see in these graphs is slightly more than doubled when you land them to the head rather than the torso or the limbs. The AM40 deals 28 damage per bullet up to 9 meters, then between 10 and 39 meters it drops down to 22 damage per shot, between 40 and 99 meters it deals 18 damage per shot, and then at 100 meters and beyond it drops down to 15 damage per shot. Comparatively, here are all the other weapons in the same class, and you can see that it is slightly on the lower end when it comes to the damage, but that is balanced out by the rate of fire. As for the bullets that it takes to kill over distance, it takes 4 shots to kill up to 9 meters, between 10 and 39 meters it'll take 5 shots to kill, between 40 and 99 meters it'll take 6 shots to kill, and then at 100 meters or beyond it'll take 7 shots to the body to kill an enemy. Again, here are those comparisons with the other weapons in the assault rifle class, and it is essentially in the same place as it is for the damage per bullet, seeing as that is pretty much just an inverted graph of this one. Lastly, moving on to the time to kill over distance, it kills in 240 milliseconds up to 9 meters, then 320 milliseconds between 10 and 39 meters, between 40 and 99 meters it kills in 400 milliseconds, and from 100 meters and beyond it will take 480 milliseconds to kill. Again, here are those comparisons with the other weapons, and although it does look like it's not all that great with the time to kill, which is very true at range, if you look at that sort of like 10 to 40 meter range there, it's actually right on par with the SCAR and the AC42 for the time to kill, and with its rate of fire compared to those two, it really can be considered as one of the best in that situation or range of engagement. Now moving on, we have the recoil pattern for the AM40, and as you can see, it is relatively simple compared to a lot of other weapons. It essentially just recoils vertically and has some very slight horizontal recoil or spray, but overall it is really easy to handle if you gently pull down on the stick or drag your mouse downwards as you shoot. Now moving on, as always, I've crafted a few different loadouts that I often like to use on the AM40, so if you're not 100% sure on what attachments to use, then hopefully this can give you guys a good starting point, and obviously these can be slightly altered and adjusted to your own preferences. The first loadout that I wanted to cover is the close range build, and this one is obviously good for close range, but actually mid-range as well. So for me, this is essentially my loadout 90% of the time when I'm using the AM40. For the sight, I use the Fusion Hollow simply because that is the one that I like the best. For the ammo, I use the drum mag. Obviously, the AM40's biggest weakness is its lack of ammo, so this is a must-have. For the underbarrel, I use the LWG grip, as it is just the jack of all trades. And then lastly, for the barrel, I use the tactical compensator, which again, via the testing videos I've done, is just the all-around best, at least for the way that I like to play anyway. Now, moving on to the second loadout that I wanted to cover, this one is the long range build, and exactly as it sounds, this one just makes the AM40 a little bit more viable at long range. For the sight, I use the TV 2x scope just for that added bit of range. For the ammo, I use the high power extended rounds, as they increase the bullet velocity of the weapon and slightly increase the damage at range at the cost of a little bit more recoil, a slower rate of fire, and a slightly slower reload speed. For the underbarrel, I use the LWG grip again, and then lastly for the barrel, I use the tactical compensator again. Like I mentioned before, the first loadout is the one that I'm pretty much running 90% of the time, and I've kind of only switched to this long range build when there is an actual opportunity to shoot at someone at long range, but it definitely isn't the type of build you want to be sort of running around with all the time, because the first loadout that I mentioned is pretty much better in almost every situation except for those, genuine long range engagements. So that is pretty much it for the AM40, guys. Personally, I really enjoy using this one, as I do love to use ARs a lot of the time, so with this being added in Season 2, I have pretty much spammed it since we first got our hands on it. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like down below. If you guys are new, then consider subscribing to the channel, and if you want to support the content that I make here on YouTube, then consider becoming a channel member. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.